Hello, this is the video for Tuesday, October 27th for 11th grade English, and I'm going to talk you through mostly a model for your assessment. So we'll look at that in a moment, but I'll also talk briefly about Yorktown and the victory of the Americans in the American Revolution. So the slides take you here. Okay, so this day is nicknamed Victory because I'll discuss how the Americans won, and we'll look at a song about that. This is a clip from the song. So Hamilton, the musical, includes these lines. There are screams and church bells ringing, and as our fallen foes retreat, I hear the drinking song they're singing, the world turned upside down. This is the British, the fallen foes, retreating from the Battle of Yorktown after they lost. At the Battle of Yorktown, the American Revolution wraps up. This battle, this major confrontation between the British and American soldiers concluded the war. And what happened is, you can see this map, the British were here in these two X's, Cornwallis and his men, Tarleton and his men, and they were also stationed here in the land. The American troops, led by Marquis de Lafayette, gathered here and started to form a semicircle around them, keeping them against the bay. And then the French fleet showed up and blockaded them in, so the British were effectively trapped. This was actually a siege rather than a battle. A siege is referring to a kind of battle where somebody is in a trap and they can't get out. And it lasted a few days, but a little bit over the week, when finally Cornwallis, the commander of that British fleet, surrendered. There was pivotal work down here from Hamilton, you can see, leading Redoubt 10, and the French commander as well, charging the British and keeping them penned in. So the British surrender. And that is the backdrop for what we're about to look at, this song. Victory at Yorktown, the Americans win, the British go home. Let's look at the song that explores the victorious battle. I'm going to play it and then have the lyrics on the screen. I'm going to start playing the song and I'll put the lyrics up for us to follow along. Just watch my cursor and I'll follow down the page as we hear the song.
The Battle of Yorktown, 1781.
Monsieur Hamilton,
Monsieur Lafayette,
in command when you belong.
are you saying no sweat? We're finally on the field, we've had quite a run.
Immigrants, we get the job done.
So what happens if we win?
I go back to France and bring freedom to my people if I'm given the chance.
We'll be with you when you do.
Go, lead your man.
I'll see you on the other side.
Here we be,
I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. I am just like my country, I'm young, scrappy and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Till the world turns upside down. Till the world turns upside down. I imagine death so much it feels more like a memory. This is where it gets me. On my feet, the enemy ahead of me. If this is the end of me, at least I have a friend with me. Weapon in my hand, a command, and my men with me. Then I remember my allies is expecting me. Not only that, my allies is expecting. We gotta go, gotta get the job done. Gotta start a new nation, gotta meet my son. Take the bullets out your gun, the bullets out your gun. We move undercover and we move as one. Through the night, we have one shot to live another day. We can mount a straight gunshot, keep us away. We can fight up close, seize the moment and stay in it. It's either that or meet the business end of a bayonet. The code word is Rochambeau, dig me? Rochambeau. You have your orders now, go man, go. So the American experiment begins with my friends all scattered to the winds. Lawrence is in South Carolina, redefining bravery. We'll never be free until we end slavery. When we finally drive the British away, Lafayette is there waiting in Chesapeake Bay. How did we know that this plan would work? We had a spy on the inside, that's right. Hercules Lafayette!
I spied on the British government. I take the measurements, information, and then I smuggle it to my brother's revolutionary covenant. I'm running with the sons of liberty, and I am loving it. See, that's what happens when you up against the Europeans. We in the shit now, somebody's gotta shovel it. Hercules Mulligan, I need no introduction. When you knock me down, I get the fuck back up again.
fighting, a young man in a red coat stands on a parapet.
We lower our guns as he frantically waves their white handkerchief.
And just like that, it's over. We tend to our wounded. We count our dead.
Black and white soldiers wonder alike if this really means freedom.
Not yet.
We negotiate the terms of surrender. I see George Washington smile. We escort their men out of Yorktown. They stagger home single file. Tens of thousands of people flood the streets. There are screams and church bells ringing. And as our fallen foes retreat, I hear the drinking song they're singing. The world turned upside down. The world turned upside down. The world turned upside down.
Okay, so this song is an option, and some of you picked it. It has so much in it that's historically rich and really specific. And if you're having trouble finding those moments in your song, I've been giving out this piece of advice to look for proper nouns. Proper nouns are, of course, capitalized nouns. Anytime there's a moment where there's capitalized letters like this, you know it's a reference to a historical place, person, something. So we'll look at those, but I wanted to pause right here at the end because I am asking you to find a primary source. One of your 3 to 5 comments has to be a reference to a document of some kind. Now this, it's a bizarre one, it's an obscure one, is actually a reference to a primary source. The song they're singing is called The World Turned Upside Down, and it's a British ballad that was published in the mid-17th century. The British were rumored to have sung this song when they lost the Battle of Yorktown in 1781. That battle was the last in the American Revolution and delivered victory and thus nationhood to the American people. So I have my, what is it? When is it? Who is it? Where is it? And why is it? Why is it important? Nice, tight little summary paragraph here. I'm not expecting you to know that, though, that it's really specific knowledge. So as you scan your songs, you're looking for something that refers to something you've heard of. So I'm going to go back to the beginning and we'll highlight a couple of moments where you might have heard of it. First, now that I'm teaching you it, the Battle of Yorktown is something that you know about. And you could find a primary document or a quote from a general who was involved in that battle. That would be a really cool thing to do. Here you have a lot of really neat comments about their relationship with France. So you might be able to find something from the Marquis de Lafayette to Hamilton or vice versa. And then we keep going down. There's an entire section about the battle itself, what they did in order to win, fixing bayonets and sneaking up on the British at night. So that could be something specific you look into. And then you've got a reference here to slavery. And we studied slavery a lot last week, so you can make a reference to what you know about that. So, so many. And I'm not constraining you to my suggestions, but I'm just trying to make sure you understand some things that you could do. And with that, you have the rest of class to work on your assessments. So everyone else had time to work just like you do now.